Hello again, this is Marxist, and this is my Learning from the Classics series, Episode 2. We'll be watching the upper bracket finals from ESEA Land Season 10, again between Quantic and Mix-Up, only this time it'll be on CP Granary, and I decided to do this one in part because Granary matches are next week for ESEA. So, to review the rosters quickly here, our scouts on Quantic are Clockwork and Sizer. The roamer and pocket are Mackie and Tyrone. The medic was CB, and the demo man was Banny. On mix-up, it was Moose and Enigma on scout, Relic on roamer, TLR on pocket, Harblue on medic, and Platinum on demo. And this match was played in March of 2012. Situation 1 will be the first mid-fight of the game, and I'm going to be looking at it from an overview perspective and just sort of see how both teams approach this mid without focusing on any individual player. So we'll get started with the first mid fight here. We're going to see Platinum come out of choke, and Mix-Up's going to strongly favor choke. A little bit of Quantic comes out of the garage, and the rest of them come out from up top. And they immediately jump on the gaggle of Mix-Up players and kill Moose there. And then Harblue goes down to Sizer, Clockwork gets Relic, CB goes down to Relic first before that. TLR goes down to Sizer, and then the fight just sort of boils out with Quantic having 3 players alive. So what happened? Well, I'm going to go back over the mid step by step to show you where things went wrong for Mix-Up. So start out watching this mid over again, and this is sort of the first phase, the demo versus scout phase is what I like to call it because there are really no soldiers yet involved in this engagement. What you see here is Sizer comes out of the garage area basically, rushes around, goes through the slot, and then ends up getting on Platinum and is scared away by both the scouts. So essentially both scouts behave in a way that I would describe as the mama bear, with Enigma going behind the garage side crates and Moose remaining up top. Sizer's the one that rushes, he gets knocked away, and he has 100 health. Platinum takes a little bit of damage in doing that, and so Banny has a relative health advantage over him, but Banny is hiding in garage right now. So, in essence, nothing has really happened, except for Sizer tried to make a play on Platinum, and he managed to back him up off the point, but nothing really essential has happened. No real advantage is bought for either team, and Mix-Up soldiers are about to do their thing out of choke, and Quantic soldiers and medic are about to do their thing out of the upper catwalk area on blue side. Now with the soldiers arriving to mid, you see Mackie and Tyrone both do a huge bomb onto the gaggle of Mix-Up players, and Mix-Up soldiers jump towards the garage of Quantic. At the end of this, you see Harblue gets thrown all the way to Quantic's side of the map, essentially, by choke. He's surrounded by 3 players, 2 of which are scouts, and he's going to die soon, and there's nothing that could possibly save him. Moose and Tyrone essentially trade with each other, and Banny is about to come to mid finally again, after backing up into garage and then rotating upper. So with the soldiers having come to mid this way, the Mix-Up soldiers have so far not really accomplished anything because they bombed no one, and Mackie and Tyrone have managed to kill a scout, secure a definite med pick, and also light up Enigma who got caught in the bomb. So Mix-Up's going to soon have a 3v5 fight, and Plat will be on the point and both soldiers will be on the left, relatively uncontested. Their only move here, because Harb is definitely dead, and they probably are all aware of that fact by now, is to kill CB so as not to lose the round immediately. With Harb dead, somebody has to jump CB right away. Relic does it because he has good health, and he gets onto CB and will secure the kill. However, he's jumping into essentially everyone except Banny. So Relic's going to be dead, and that's going to leave only Enigma, Platinum, and TLR to face 4 players. The fight ends by Quantic establishing what in StarCraft would be called a good concave. Every player on Quantic utilizes a different area of the map to come at Mix-Up. Mackie goes through the slot, a scout comes around the red crates, a scout comes around the blue crates, and Banny's on his health pack and just walks towards the point. They do manage to kill Sizer in that, the 3 remaining Mix-Up players, but they all wipe. On the bright side for Mix-Up here, because of the way that they dealt with CB, the medic spawn times are going to be the same, and so there won't be any definite advantage for Quantic moving forward. And they're also not really going to be able to push anyone up except perhaps Mackie. So if they can catch Mackie or he chooses not to go, they might get a little time on second, but ultimately second will be safe for Mix-Up. In our second situation, we're going to see how these two teams deal with second and the contesting of it, being as both medics are going to spawn relatively close to each other, and Quantic didn't really have enough players to just rush to second and cap and hold it for sure. See Mackie jump upper here, and he's going to lock out up top because Banny's got both those shutter doors down there controlled. A scout comes in, but then he notices Mackie and is going to run around through the side. Mackie knows Z is where he's the biggest danger, and he's going to peek out here and try to find him. He does, and dies for it. And then we see Mix-Up come back in on the point, and they will retake it easily. No Ubers and 1 player down. Quantic's not that brave. What we saw here was Mackie locking out up top and Banny locking out both the shutter doors, especially the right shutter door in Banny's case, because that's where most teams are going to try to contest you from, because it's a little bit shorter of a route and you're not going to have that flank angle from garage or lunchbox, whatever you want to call it. They managed to do that. A scout does come in and goes into the lunchbox, and Mackie has to go figure out where he is, being the roamer. And he goes by himself because nobody else is really there yet, and he ends up dying to Moose. And that means that even though Quantic caps the point, they have to back out, because Mix-Up is flooding in, and there's no way for them to contest that point effectively, especially being 1 down, and there not being any Uber for them to use to force Mix-Up out of the second point map area. Although, you'll notice one very important fact about this ending here is that Quantic, despite spawning at about the same time as Harblue, has managed to gain massive Uber advantage, and that's because they're running crits. In our third situation, we'll watch Quantic use their crits Uber advantage on Mix-Up. We're going to see Banny take the crits through right yard. It just so happens that Mix-Up is pushing out of left yard right now. The first crit's going to go for Harb, it misses. Soldiers are going to jump CB and Banny to try to kill them, but Banny's going to manage to get them both with the crits. Mix-Up can't contest anymore, since 4 of them are now dead. So what happened? Mix-Up knows that a flank player for Quantic is dead, so they decide to push the flank, right yard in this case. Although right yard is generally not a bad place to push out into if you've just capped second, in the way that Mix-Up did. They also believe that Ubers are nearly equal, being as they knew both medics spawned at around the same time. However, because of the crits, they get caught rather by surprise, and they also don't react to the crits very quickly, so it ends up being nearly a wipe, with Enigma having almost no health, and Platt not really being anywhere around. This leaves Quantic with Uber advantage, with which to push last, and enough players up right now as it is to try and run into last as is, and try to cap this way. In our fourth situation, we're going to see a demo soldier and medic from Quantic rush to last after just having killed Platinum, Mix-Up's demo, who tried to stop them from capping second. They have a player advantage right now. However, as you can see from the picture, Mix-Up's about to get basically all their spawns except Platinum. I'm going to watch this from CB's perspective. And they're just going in. Banny goes straight to the point and starts sticking a spawn door, and that's it. There's the first round. With his pain train, Banny caps the point before Mix-Up can even really get out of the spawn doors. I show this clip because it demonstrates how you can push Granary last with player advantage, even though the respawn timers look really dicey. Surely the Quantic players knew that the spawns were going to come for mix-up. 4 of them, in fact, would come for them very soon. But it takes a long time to get out of Granary spawn and on to the last point. They manage to shoot Banny quite a bit, but they don't kill him before he can manage to cap. So on my team, we call it paying the toll on Granary, because even though you're spawned, there's actually going to be a couple seconds before you can even shoot at anything on the point, and even an additional couple seconds before you could physically block the point, despite your having been spawned. And in this situation, CB doesn't really commit at first until he's absolutely certain that Banny's already on the point camping it, because he's got tremendous Uber advantage. He finishes with 75. So if something happens to Banny, he's still got plenty of players that he could crits on and get quite a few kills and cap the point anyway. And since that's the end of the first round and this video is already 10 minutes long, I'm going to call it here. I hope to see you at part 2. This has been Marxist.